Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Steph and today we're taking a look at Helldivers 2 on the Steam Deck, the best settings that I have found to run the game at a modest 40 FPS, and then also look at general gameplay as well, because there was a little bit of a glitch that I did have. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe to keep up with our latest Steam Deck videos, because more are on the way very soon. Let's take a look at Helldivers 2 on the Steam Deck. So jumping into the game's settings, going to display first, I have got high dynamic range switched off and camera shake strength to weak. I am on the Steam Deck OLED, remember. So if you are playing on the Steam Deck OLED screen or on a HDR external screen, then you can switch that back on as well. And my vertical field of view at 55. Resolution at 1280 by 720 because I am on an external monitor, or 1280 by 800 on the Steam Deck screen. Render scale at ultra quality, although you could get away with quality as well. And or you could get a little bit more FPS with quality, but ultra quality, why not? Display mode full screen and VSync is switched off. And jumping into the graphics settings, I'm running a custom preset, which depth of field is switched off, bloom is switched off, and I've got my sharpness at 0.8. Texture quality I have at medium, object detail medium, render distance at medium, shadow quality on lowest because that doesn't really matter too much. Particle quality at medium, reflection quality again lowest, space quality low, and let's move the menu down. Screen space global illumination on, vegetation and rubble density on. There's a nice amount of rubble and vegetation in this game, so it's nice to keep the quality just a little bit higher there. Terrain quality at medium, volumetric fog at lowest, volumetric cloud quality lowest again. Lighting quality at medium, and anti-aliasing is on, but you could get away with switching that off if you needed the extra performance. Running around the actual ship, you can notice in the top left-hand side, I'm getting a nice smooth FPS of around 40 to 45. It does jump up. And the game, I must admit, isn't looking too bad at all. It does look very, very nice, especially with the hardware that the Steam Deck provides. And jumping down to the terrain itself, you can see, again, we are getting around 40 FPS, although it does dip down to the mid-30s when things are going on the screen at any one time. So during any action moments, that kind of thing. That's not to say that that is really a bad thing, though, because this game is pretty capable playing it at 30 FPS, to be honest with you. It's a PvE game anyway. I'm not doing too well. Even when things like that happen, the drop pods come down. Oh no, my man's dead. Reinforce. Even with the drop pods come down, it's still unbelievably smooth to play. One thing I was going to suggest before we go running on is if we jump into the Steam Deck performance menu, you could also lock your frame rate limit to 30. Okay, it's not going to be as smooth as hitting those 40s because you can lock it at 60 or 30 hit. Oh my god, I'm running. What am I doing? One thing you can do is lock your frame rate to 30. So it's not going to be as smooth as getting those kind of 40s, but it's going to be smooth enough to play this game at a solid 30 FPS. So this is a different planet, a different map. It's not in the snow anymore, as you can see. And the FPS currently running is a cool, smooth 43, 44 FPS. Now, I know there's not a huge amount going on the screen at the moment, but there is certainly enough. Whereas before we were getting kind of that mid to late 30s in terms of frames per second, but this time we are hitting a smoother 40 FPS. Now, something that I think is helping quite a lot, especially on this mission with the frames per second, is the fog. It's almost masking textures, which again isn't a bad thing. You'll find that there's a couple of maps like this. I've played one that looks a little bit more like it's daytime, but there is still kind of that grey mist, grey fog haze over the map. This one is a little bit more yellowy, and it's also blocking off scenes in the distance as well, so your draw distance is being really affected, which is where you can start to see the larger frame scores coming in at 40 FPS. One thing I have noticed with this game is from time to time you do get this glitch where it shows keyboard prompts on the screen. Now I'm clicking B on my games controller to go back to the previous menu, but As you can see, the keyboard prompts flashing around. Inspect toggle top right. Item info is on tab. Just doesn't allow me to do anything. And unfortunately, the only way to get around this is if you jump into the Steam menu, exit the game, and then relaunch the game as well. Okay, so our third and final map is a nighttime mission. And again, we are running slightly lower than last time, late 30s, pushing sometimes the early 40s, but most of the time we are now late 30s at the moment. For a game that would not play day one release to, what are we now, Friday night? It came out yesterday at the time of recording this video. They turned this game around so fast with a nice patch to be able to get it running on the Steam Deck and running on the Steam Deck well, which is really nice to see. It's surprising. One of the things I will say about the Steam Deck, though, is because of the small screen, if you are playing it directly on the Steam Deck itself, you may have a hard time reading the smaller text on screen, like the objectives in the corner or in the bottom left-hand corner. I am currently blocking it, but you can see ammo and grenades and things like that left. And if you are plugging your Steam Deck into an external monitor like I have done here, I'm running it through my gaming monitor on my desk, you're going to have no problems at all with reading on-screen text. Don't know what that's going to do. I bought it and it looks good in the video, so whoa, that made my frames drop down to the 30s then. I wasn't even on top of that, and my frames dropped down to the 30s, so be careful of those. Throw that out. Oh, that's really close. Go back. Oh, no. Yeah, I think we found a bit of an FPS killer there with the cluster bombs. That dropped it right down to 30 FPS. But there you go. That is Helldivers 2 on the Steam Deck with my settings that I am currently running. And as I say, hugely playable experience. Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, subscribe to keep up with our latest Steam Deck videos, and also let us know in the comments down below, are you going to be picking up Helldivers 2 for your Steam Deck? What settings you're also using, if you're using anything different to us, or if you're able to produce a higher quality at a similar frame rate or even better frame rate, let us know what you're doing in the comments down below. As I say, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.